Hello. Once again, we are live on Thursday, the 18th of December, 1 week till Christmas. Market is doing quite well today. CPI released today, and it was pretty positive from what I can tell. We'll jump into the charts in just a second. I'm a little bit under the weather, so that's why I've got a very sexy, deep voice. At least that's what people keep telling me. But yeah, of course, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and follow me on X as well, which you're probably watching there now. Today we're going to have a little look through the Edgefor platform, of course, as always. And I've actually placed a trade today. We'll talk about that and see how well it's doing, or not well, how it's doing. We'll get into that, obviously, into the closing parts of tonight's live stream. Excuse me. What else we're going to do? Yes, I want to optimize my chart as well, more towards the kind of Edgefor platform, so we can have a look at how to kind of introduce indicators into the charts. And of course, if you do sign up to Edgefor, they will they provide you with lots and lots of different indicators for free. You can get the details right by my face there. Don't quite know why it's on me. Edgefor.com, of course, and find your edge in the market. I'll leave it up there for a few seconds. But first of all, let's jump into the charts. This is obviously the Edgefor platform. What I've placed a trade tonight, obviously with the power hour breakout report, as I normally do. What that is, it's basically a strategy that I used within the last hour of the market open. The market being open, should I say. Let me just do some technical bits and I'll be right with you. But yeah, go ahead. Let me know how you're doing in the trading. If you've done pretty well today, obviously we'll have a look at the general look at things as well. But yeah, we'll get into all of that. I've just posted the link for Edgefor attached to the stream on X, and of course it will be down below in the description if you're watching on YouTube anyway. Right, that's that covered. That's good times. Right, got two laptops running. So I'm a little bit all over the place. Let's get rid of that for now. So today we'll be looking at SPY as we normally do. We might look at some other bits. I think for today I want to concentrate on what I've done, what kind of trade I've taken. Let's have a look at this. So if we go to power hour breakout report, this is your main screen. When you click on reports, if you go to get started, which is where you'll start out, you'll get given quite a few videos to watch. They're less than 2 hours long in total, and you can learn pretty much the whole platform. All you have to do after that is just go into reports and just skip through the reports and see what they do. Just by scrolling down to the bottom, there'll be an explanation video by Andre, who's the CEO, and then just down below we've got an actual visual representation of how it works as well. So you can probably have that alongside your video, and then you can really understand kind of what's going on there. So if we go back to we're on reports already, which is great. We want to trade SPY. So we're going to go to SPY on my watch list. And of course, we are trading for tonight. We're going to look at the power hour breakout report. And we can see the data on the screen already, just like that, nice and quickly. And what this means is that in the last hour, which is the power hour, of course, in the last 6 months, which we can see is our date range. We haven't chosen the sub report just yet, but we can get into that in a second. But you can see, of course, that the statistics show us that the new low of day, there's a 14% chance that the new low of day is made from the previous lows. So what that means is, we look at the chart, the low of the day, what we'll do is we'll get rid of that for now. And you can see the high of the day is here. And the low of the day is here before the power hour, of course. So we know that the data is showing us a 50% likelihood that it's going to go back down below this level here. So what I did was just on the turn of the hour, actually, just here, because I saw there's a couple of bit of technical analysis alongside this as well. I placed a trade just at this level, which is doing very well now, and I've got the target price set here at the top of the trend line for now. Let me just get rid of that quickly. There we go. Right. So this actually might hit while I'm talking about it right now. Let's have a look. In fact, no, it hasn't hit yet. My target price is, obviously I'm trading slightly differently. Target price is 67943. There. So watch it come all the way back down. No, give it time. Gotta give it time. My entry price is around about there. 6767. 67673. That's my entry price, as you can see on the screen. I'll draw a proper position, and then my stop loss needs to be dragged up a little bit there. My stop loss will be 675505. Oh yeah, below the low. I wonder why that wasn't going. The lows are actually here on the left side here. 551, 5505. So that'll do there. We'll colour that red, and then what I'll do is put a proper position there so you can see properly. The risk to reward. Go into it then. Risk to reward is 2.2, which is pretty good actually for a power hour breakout trade. But yeah, if we go back to the reports then, we can see here, excuse me, we can see here on the left side we've got choose sub report. This is basically just the general data in the last 6 months, but if we can go by weekday, that then filters out every single Thursday in the last 6 months. And you can see it's even less. It's 15% when the whole data, but on just Thursdays, it's 12.5% likely it's going to go back down below the lows of the day that were preset here. Now managing this trade, of course, you can say to me straight away, oh, why don't you just bring the stop loss up to break even now? And that would be a smart choice, and I probably will do that in a minute. But just wants to kind of represent the fact that the data lies here. So if it does come back down and trigger out at stop loss at break even, that's the choice that you've made during that, but the data has done its job in terms of the entry point. I am going to go ahead and do that quickly while we're here, because that is important. Okay, so my stop loss is now brought up just in case anything major happens in the next 20 minutes to 67697. There. Stop loss is there. We just needed to get to this line, so easier said than done, I guess. There is obviously resistance here with the trend line, of course. That is quite normal. But yeah, no, we're doing well. Good day so far. But it's not break even, it's actually plus. I think it's plus £50, I think, something like that. At this level here, this red line. But yeah, no, really easy to see the data. You don't have to just use SPY. You can go through and use Apple. You can go through and use Amazon, Barber, even the smaller stocks, potentially like Palantir, Robinhood. They've all got data, and they've all got pretty good data. But the thing that you must have a look out for is obviously where the stock is trading at this, at the point of the turn of the last hour. So as we go into the last hour, is the stock near the lows? Is the stock near the highs? That is the main takeaway if you're going to be doing this strategy. So let's have a look at a few stocks then, shall we? We do this pretty much every week. I'm going to be going live again on Monday next week. So do go ahead and follow me on X and subscribe on YouTube. Just live trading, general stuff. Also using the Edgeable platform, which I love to use. Right, so Apple is trading near-ish the highs of the days, but nothing in terms of a trade, in my opinion. We'll scroll down to Amazon, right in the middle of these two lines, so we're not going to touch that at all. Alibaba, still too close to the middle there. What happened there? Oh, strange. Google, again, more towards the middle. It's more towards the upper side, but more towards the middle, I would say. and then Meta right in the middle again, Microsoft in the middle again, Nvidia in the middle, and Tesla near the highs. So you could potentially have a trade. It's a bit risky. I won't do it obviously because I've already got one in, but obviously you've got a trend line here. You could use this as resistance to come down and have your stop loss above this line, which is where that would go. But of course, you would have to check the data first. So let's go in and have a look at Tesla. In this case, obviously, we're looking for upside. So we're going, or will it break new highs of day? Where am I? There we are. New highs of day, so by a weekday. Yeah, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, hang on. Has that ever happened to you when you're about to sneeze but then just disappears? That was awkward. Anyway, what was I doing? We were looking at Tesla for upside. So we've got the power breakout report set, 16.6% chance that it will go above this line. This is too low of an entry for me. I'd like it somewhere up here. In fact, that would be pretty good. At this sort of level here. So if it comes back up to this level, you could take a bit of a short. But it's a bit close to the end of the day for me now. It's 20 minutes to go. You would need a pretty dramatic move for that to happen. Plus, if you get a bit of strength coming out of this trend line, that could very easily make new highs of day, which is obviously always possible. And all that will do is basically increase this number for next Thursday to probably something around 17%, something like that. But let's have a little check in on our trade. It's doing pretty well. It just needs to get to that green line. That would be ideal. Yeah, so what we wanted to do was have a look at the charts, because I need to sort out my charts. They're an absolute mess. I don't know if you had the same problem. But make sure you put in the chat if you've got any questions around Edgefall or any other questions around the market, what you're looking at, anything like that. Always happy to have a look. Got my cup of tea here. Right. So as you can see, on the top left here, I've got so many indicators and all over the place. So the main part of this is to obviously have a look at Edgefall indicators, but also sort them out. Maybe I'll sort them out first. To do that, you just go onto the right side here and you've got all of the indicators that are lined up. Horizontal ray, where's that? Oh, right, that's the position. I can get rid of those because the position is right there on the screen for us. Trend lines, obviously those two. And what we want to do is probably move that up there. Trend line, where's that? Move that up there for now. Okay, so Edgefall. Other Edgefall there. We might as well just skip through a couple of these to see what they do, because that makes sense. Just while we're watching this trade play out. Initial balance, which is this one on the screen. We'll do one by one. Is this one on the screen here? I'll take the gaps off as well, actually. The EMA trend. Basically, it plots the first hour's trading action, and you can see this represented in this box. And then it will plot lines after that first hour. And these are really quite fun to trade with, because it kind of creates the lines for the day, if you so to speak. The sneeze is coming, I'm telling you. I just don't know when it's going to catch me off guard, I think. And you can see obviously these lines that get populated. This is the box, and then every half of the box is a line. And they're different every day, of course. Let's go back to yesterday's. They're a bit thinner. What's the day before? They're a lot bigger. So you can see every day is different, which is why I like them, because obviously every day's price action is different generally. So it's nice to have that kind of bias on the day's price action for you. So that's the initial balance breakout report and initial balance breakout indicator. The report is very different. It kind of tells you whether the price will go up and stay above that price action, obviously related to past data. And likewise, obviously, to the downside. And you can see actually, which is quite interesting, obviously, you've got the first hour's price action. Yes, it popped out and it came up to this line that's already been populated by the first hour. Then it came back down quite dramatically and touched the lows set in the morning, but didn't break, just touched them. And then again as well, which is another reason why I entered the trade, is for this very reason of support. And of course the trend line, which came all the way through here. Stop loss, not stop loss wise, target price, it's been taken. Sweet. So we've made money today. Job done. So that's, essentially paid for my Edgeful subscription, which is brilliant. That was in the end 600. Not bad. I'll close that now. Not gonna do anything. Now what will happen is it will keep going up and it'll break out the trend line, but that's okay. We're not here for that. I'm just here to make a little bit of money before the market close, and then go from there. So close that from now. Right. So that is the initial balance breakout indicator that we have on the screen there. We'll take that off. The orb. This one is better seen in the 5-minute chart because it is the first 15 minutes price action. And this doesn't populate any other lines, at least not that I know of. Maybe it does. I've never done that before, so I wouldn't know. Oh, here we go, yeah. So we've got retracement levels for the orb, so similar to the initial balance breakout. I'm guessing you can use it for this as well, yeah. So all of this you can play with, and then those lines get populated. So similar to the initial balance breakout, but this is the opening range breakout. So the opening range breakout is the first 15 minutes. And then the initial balance breakout is the first hour. But we'll leave it like that for now. I don't really use it that much because obviously, I'm working at that time. So what would be nice now is if the market came down somewhere here, then you know that you've just made that money perfectly. It never works like that. Well, it does, but it doesn't always work like that. But we do our best as traders, don't we? We do our best. Everyone kept telling me that the flu is bad this year. And I was like, nah, it's fine. It's fine. Pretty bad. I mean, it could always be worse, but we're doing okay. We survive. And I can't believe it's Christmas in 1 week. 1 week. Okay, so that's the opening range breakout report. If you look at the Edgeful and you hear people say orb, stuff like that in Discord chat and stuff and things, then that's what they're referencing to, the opening orb. Previous week's range indicator. That's just does what it says on the tin. It's the previous week's range. We won't go into that. Power hour breakout report. This is very simply, this vertical line coming down is the start of the last hour. So we are now in the 5-minute chart. And then the lines, the horizontal lines going across the screen there, that is the high of the day and the low of the day. Maybe I should recolor that so it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, there we go. High of the day, low of the day. And then the last one I have on here, we'll add some more as well, of course. The last one I have on here is market sessions. This is basically just the opening hours of, the market that we select. So this one is obviously New York. You can see on the screen there, just about. And if we go into settings, we can turn off New York and turn on London, and that will populate somewhere down here. That's the London time frame. So the beauty about that is if you go onto Edgefor, you can go through and select, futures, for example. We've got ES there, of course. You've got the FTSE 100, which is obviously primarily, well, it is mostly in the UK time. in the UK time. So you would probably have this selected. So that's market sessions there for you. Get rid of that. Put New York back on. Sometimes it's handy. I mean, I kind of know roughly when it's the market sessions there, but sometimes it's handy to see the data just right there on the screen for you. Very, very handy indeed. Let's go ahead and add a few more if we can. I'm sure we can. Previous days range. So we had that on Power Hour Breakout. No, we didn't have that on the Power Hour Breakout. No, we don't have that at all actually. Previous days range is very handy, especially if you want to look for kind of contact points for stocks to go up or down. Previous days range. So we can add that. When you sign up for Edgefor, obviously they will come as invite only. These are all the Edgefor indicators. You can add stuff like engulfing candles. It's like a little signal to show you when the engulfing candle is. Doesn't really improve my trading too much, but I'm sure a lot of day traders out there do like engulfing candles. What else we got? Fair value gaps. I've got that already. Previous days range. Got that already, haven't we? Yes. There's loads. Obviously, a lot of them are kind of green and red streaks. What's that? Don't think that's. I'm not sure what that is. Get rid of that for now. But yeah, engulfing candles could be interesting. So if you're a bit more of a pattern trader, you can definitely see that the candle that we're doing now is very much an engulfing candle. Very much an engulfing candle. And this is what we just said. We just made some money at this point, but now it's dripping all the way back down. Heading into the last 6 minutes of the trading session. And to sort all of these out, I just go over here and drag them up so you can kind of see them all together. All the Edgefor indicators there. But we don't need market sessions. We'll talk about previous days range quickly. So previous days range can be quite handy, not so much the days you can see on the screen. Let's go back to 10 minute. I like 10 minute more. And I also want to turn back on my EMA trend indicator. So you might actually see a bit of a bounce here to the upside. I won't be trading that, of course, because there's no real point of entry there. Just think because the cloud is there, it could be a bit of an interesting point to go up. Yeah, look, so previous day's low was hit this morning. Because this low was set yesterday. Actually just at the market close. Traded through the night, come back down and touched it and then moved higher. So it can be used as a point of contact, a turning point, a trend change, that kind of thing. So always have that on your charts, in my opinion. And that is previous day's range. Can't change the colours though. Well, that matters. So I think we're going to do a quick recap of the trade that we placed tonight. Low. That's the low there. Okay. Right. What other indicators do I need for this explanation I'm about to do? Nope. Nope. I could have sworn there's something else. Oh yeah. Initial balance breakout report. What we'll do is we'll clean up these three here. So this is how I made money today in the markets with the Edgeful platform. You can see the position on the screen here. This is where we entered. This is where we took the profits. It's now subsequently coming back down, but it doesn't matter because we've taken that profit. The trade is done. This is just a representation of how it happened. The stop loss was obviously down below the low of the day, and the reason for that is I used the Edgeful report, which is the power hour breakout report here. So if we tap on that in the top right hand corner, and then we tap on SPY, because obviously that's what we're trading, and then we can see straight off the bat in the last 6 months, this is the data that's been provided for us for every single day. It's a 14% chance that a new low of day is made, which means there's a 14% chance that it will go back below this line. I haven't actually turned on that line, power hour breakout. That would help, wouldn't it? So the low of the day, previously set obviously about 3 hours ago, is that red line coming through the screen, and that's obviously where our stop loss will be when we enter the trade. And simply what we want to do is actually whittle it down even further, and go by a weekday, which is obviously today is Thursday. You can see it's gone from 15% down to 12.5%. So there's a 12.5% chance that the stock, or price action should we say, will go back down below this line here, which is why I entered the trade at the beginning of the hour, top of the hour, because we had various indicators kind of coming in together. So obviously we had the trend line, which was kind of holding, so to speak. It was a bit of a risk, of course, but you enter here because of the data that lies just down below here. So that's your risk already set in the trade, if that makes sense. We have the first hour's price action being created, and it came back down there as support. So that's another kind of bit of support you can have there. Take that off the screen so it's less confusing. And then, of course, we had the target price back up to the top of the trend line, which we hit really nicely. Live on the stream, you saw it. This is a bit more of a recap, but yeah, live on the stream, that happened really nicely. But yeah, no, good trade, and it's all because of Edgeful and their basically their report telling me that it's 12% chance that this price action is going to go back down by this line. So what I did was just basically, use that data, pull my technical analysis together, get some support lines, get into the trade, just set a stop loss related to this, the data, of course, and then just let the trade play out. Now, what I did do live on the stream was, of course, bring that stop loss up to break even. So even if it was to come back down and not touch the target price first, then I would have, of course, still made money or been flat. Yeah, so that's the breakdown of my strategy and how I made money in the market today on a Thursday, 18th of December, 1 week into Christmas. Yeah, not long to go. But look at that for the last 10 minutes. Oh. We're about to close in 40 seconds, and the market does not like that. So this could be an interesting point as well, just from a natural, obviously not for the Edgeful platform, but just from a natural kind of technical analysis point of view. We'll get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Because obviously you've got lots of support. We've had support on this particular trend line for that's a lot of hours. More hours than I can count. No, what, 18 hours. We've had that trend line for. But those trend lines are meant to be broken eventually. But we do have the moving average kind of cloud coming through here as well as a bit of support. But it just needs to break out of this trend line regardless. Well, not trend line, this wedge regardless. But it's been fun. I appreciate anyone who's watching, anyone watching in the post recording as well. I think it's a very knowledgeable stream, and I hope you took some value from it. So yeah, take care, everyone. Make sure you trade safe. Don't do anything stupid going into the end of the week. And I'll see you in the next stream Monday. See you Monday. Take care.